We've had, a group of leading, members of the whole market here. They've taken their time out from the IUMI conference to come and talk to us and discuss, the ongoing issues around war risk. It was a very broad discussion, but from your point of view, what do you see as the key takeaways from what we've heard today?
No, I think it was a fascinating conversation. I think for me the key takeaways is we're in a war market that's been effectively benign for many, many years, in that people have been writing premiums, taking those premiums, but there's been relatively little risk in that war risk market. And for the invasion of Ukraine, suddenly crystallised that. And I think that sent some shockwaves through the market. And it sent a couple of shockwaves particularly. Number one was people didn't really know necessarily what they were writing. One of the conversations came out this morning was that when people had been putting money through facilities, they suddenly realised they didn't have full visibility into what was in those facilities. So the expectation of now transparency and knowledge is 100% there. I think the other area that came out was that of reinsurance capacity. And there were some reactions from the audience as to whether the reinsurers had been appropriate in their reaction. And I think the reality is that in that situation, when those risks crystallised, the reinsurers took a hard look and said, well, we're not going to write things where we actually don't have the visibility of what risks are being written. So we saw some capacity received from the market, and we heard this morning that capacity is now coming back into the market. But I think what has changed is now the expectation. So the capacity is going to come into the market and say, we will write this business as long as you can demonstrate to us that you have controls and understanding of that. And so I think that when we go into the renewals this year, the sentiment in the room certainly seemed to be that this year will be more of a normal sort of commonplace renewal, whereas last year was very difficult to get renewals. This year I think it said going to be straightforward, I think was the phrase that was used in the room today. So I think that would be good if we can see that. But be under no mistake, there's a switch that's happened in the market, which is you need to know the business that you've written. And I think from our perspective, that was great to hear. I mean, technology can play a part. We heard again in the room that some people have deployed some very sophisticated technologies to understand their modelling their risk. Some people are running it on a spreadsheet. And I don't think it really matters what technology you're using. What matters is that understanding needs to exist. And then the last part, sort of looking forward, I think there now is an opportunity for the market to collaborate a bit more. We heard from people talking about trust in the market, in the subscription market, and how do we exchange data. But I think the reality is that we're going to go into a period where people will start to exchange data. Those mechanisms are unclear, but there's an opportunity for doing that. And I think that that's going to create exciting areas for us as a vendor, but also exciting sort of new facilities which are data-driven, where people are exchanging things and they've got their finger on the pulse. So when there is that incident, you open the paper, you open your iPad, and you read there's been an incident, there's a knock on your door saying, what are we on risk for here? You're going to have those answers at your fingertips, and everybody will have that. And I think when the market knows more about the risks that they're writing, it's a healthier market, it's more active. We're all in this to make money, so let's find a way of creating new innovative products that satisfy the need for regulatory oversight, that address the needs of the customers, and everybody can make money with. So I think we're in a good place.